What do you guys think about like the admin RP events?
Like,
you
love
know,
them. I thought it was.
I thought they're great.
I think so.
I'm not gonna lie. As a Civ character, it's like because James Marco is essentially like a degenerate Civ. It's really tough because like without those events, it just feels like it's like, all right, what do I do now? In between like the moments where you're like really like scratching for RP. So I like the admin events because they kind of give like your day a little structure.
What's the last admin event that you were able to participate in as James St. Marco?
I went to the jump event. I went late, but like it was just fun to jump in that car.
That was tight.
Yeah, it was fun to whoever won the car. I think it was Taco. Won the car.
That was fucking tight.
Yeah, we all got in the trunk. Everybody got in the trunk, and then he like.
Oh, that was fun.
Those aren't the admin events. Those are like the business events. The admin events are like the crazy fucking. I don't even know what happened. The shootout
heist.
It was a setup.
The big zombie event that happened. That was
that was
amazing.
Yeah.
That was so time. Fun.
Yeah, really. Like, you have something to say. Hey, you want anything to say, Bayo? Iceman, I mean, you said you think so really about the whole event thing.
I thought they're awesome.
You have like a different opinion?
Oh. No, I thought they're awesome.
This motherfucker likes shooting more than any of us.
Me too.
I could give some perspective on this, considering I do a lot of these. For those of you that don't know, I play the Puppet Master that facilitates a lot of the racing one.
Ruined, dude. Ruined.
Shout out to you, man.
Wait, you play the Puppet Master?
Wise guy, were you the ghost that was haunting Rooster's Rest and me?
Yeah, I was fucking with you.
That was one of my favorite moments in the game so far. I didn't even know it was you, and people didn't know either because I don't think you were streaming.
And I
personally love the admin events. I think it's great.
The Time Lord stuff. One thing I try and do a lot though is try and keep it contained, because I noticed with DW's event, I was helping with that too. If there's too many parties involved, and especially if the police come in, they don't really know what's going on. It's a big shit show, right?
I think communication is huge in those parts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there was something put out by DW, but it wasn't communicated properly within the PD after the fact, right?
They literally didn't tell us.
Yeah, they didn't tell us. Did you guys just like walk into a massacre, or what happened?
Yes. So like what I do with the Time Lord stuff is like, I got the nerds and the clean boys in on some stuff, and it was very contained. There was one issue where the cops got involved, and it was an event.
Aliens, right?
Yeah. I didn't want anyone to shoot, right? So the cops wouldn't really turn up, but the shots went off and shit, and then the cops turned up.
I have a question about that actually. Did you know that I had a character named Onyx who had LSD when you did that whole thing with the Time Lord?
No idea.
Oh my god.
That was so funny.
Wait, was that back in 2.0?
My character.
Was your Onyx character's 2.0, right?
Yeah. She was a goth character from 2.0 that I carried over,
Maybe there could be
I got
some
LSD.
crossover there.
And Buddha thought he found a gold mine, but I just had LSD for that one time. It was really funny.
I think I want to ask everybody, what do you guys feel for these events to carry out like long-term, like for example, if the PD responds to that, like is it okay like to?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay,
I
have some thoughts on that.
Yeah,
as long as we get permanent reses and the cops get nothing, I'm good.
True. I agree. I agree, man.
The cops, bro.
So on that situation, what happened was we have a thing in the admin menu, right? We can revive. At least from my perspective, I was trying to revive. We have two options. We can revive in people in distance, right? Or you can revive purely yourself or specific IDs. So some of the devs were doing revive in area, but it was reaching further to other crims that were actually down, which we weren't supposed to be resin, right? And the fact we were around grandmas, I don't think maybe the crims should have really been resin around grandmas, considering there was already 8 of them, right? And you need to know where to cut your losses, right? When I do my kind of dev events, I'll if shit happens, right? And if the cops turn up and if there's going to be consequences, you just accept it.
Yeah,
the way
that's what
I
I was
kind of go
hinting.
of it, and I don't give any sort of handouts. So I think in the future, you have to know if you're going into one of these events, you need to be ready to accept the consequences. If you're not, then
hell
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember the heist that happened with CG, and like when guards were killed, and if CG was down, like I think Vinny Vinny got downed and was
Yeah,
charged
the
with
Ferrari
3 times
heist.
first degree murder. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was there
It's
for
like,
that.
high reward, high.
And
high
the
pay.
RP that followed that was fucking awesome.
And I think like those events like should follow,
Yeah, and like
would follow through like that, like those.
yeah,
events,
and
right?
because Tommy was the manager for the tuner shop, right? And that was
Exactly,
really
that was
bad for the
huge.
tuner shop. So
Well,
I
it's
had
the
to like
same
fire
thing.
him.
Yeah, it's the
And,
same thing with anything. When you host these events, you guys are supplying us with
Then you quit
content,
eating.
right? In a way, you guys are supplying us with something that we
like
shouldn't be
having
supplied
popcorn.
with, and it's going to make that stream amazing. But it's on us like a sitcom. We have to take it. We have to fucking run with it. And if we're killing an army, generals or whatever that you guys were doing, I still have no idea what really happened. But whatever you're doing, the moment like you get caught up doing that with the AKs or whatever, you're fucked.
Okay. Well, yeah. The important thing is with those events is it might not be advancing your RP, but it's up to you to help advance someone else's. So if you join that event, you get into it, you understand that you're giving.
Okay, so counterpoint though. Counterpoint is that I know there was the Panther event, which yes involved the a foreign army invading Los Santos and fighting us. The reason why that was a little weird was because like if you ever caught any of the crims in it, they could just get the 9s. Like it was just straight up, you're gonna get the 9s, right?
Well, yeah, high risk.
Yeah,
high reward,
it was a pretty extreme event, so I wasn't in control of that one, right?
Right. And that's why
I think it was more of an experimental one where, and there was an OOC rule given by DW to say, treat people as hired guns, so.
Yeah, but the problem with that is Randy Raided's head popped and he couldn't get into the city.
Must be nice, man.
Yeah, like he unfortunately missed the event, and the boys need a 4th person, so they dragged me in the last like literally 4 minutes before the heist. I get on it. My experience with by the way, I thought the event was incredible. I was an NPC for the event. I played the role of the crim that got fucking shot by Mr. K at the start.
Was the
on
motherfucker
accident.
we carried you around, all right?
Yeah, I played the
entire fucking map.
I played the role of the crim that was all like down the entire time. I was dragged around. I didn't get to see anything. But because I happened to get shot at one point, and I guess during a gunfight, Wrangler thought that it was wise to cuff me and search me and take pictures of my inventory. Because of that, I then afterwards got charged with terrorism.
But
and, like, I had
happens,
no idea
That shit was more than a rescue
what
mission
was
than a
going
fucking Panther
on.
mission, to be honest
And
with
so
you.
like that was an example where I was like, I expected to just kind of for it not to be as like carried over, because like that just means I'm like kind of fucked, right? And I didn't even know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
I joined the event. I didn't even know what the event was. They
You
just told me that
literally
we're
asked me to get the 9s, bro. You feel good?
yeah, but- okay, so that's the thing, right? It's both sides, right? I mean, should you really get those consequences, especially when something was put out to say that you shouldn't really get those consequences? You shouldn't. But then again, should we as the dev team and admin, should we really be putting out those separate rules for events like that? I personally don't think. I think it's something we have to kind of tussle with, right, and figure out. But
that's tough.
Again, at the same time, if you have to get roped into something, yeah, you might be helping out your boys.
Last one.
If you don't know what you're getting into, you need to be ready to accept those consequences for
The last one.
getting into some crazy shit that you didn't really, think it was going to be that crazy.
There was that one event on 2.0 on the aircraft carrier where everyone just kind of made temporary characters. I mean, for an event, if it's not your story that's advancing, then that's a pretty good idea.
But it's one of those things where the moment
that was a really fair point, by the way. I
Blastoise-
agree with you. I actually agree with you. That's a good
The
point.
moment that you show up to that event, even if you don't know everything that's involved, I would think that's more of on like the boys leaving out that crucial information where it's like, hey man,
We're gonna go with terrorism now.
or terrorism. So
To be fair, all charges acquitted, and I'm an American hero now. And I actually thought Wrangler's RP afterwards was great, so props to him.
And something as well is if you're taking part in these missions or whatever,
Small
you
bites.
don't have to follow it through to the end, right?
Exactly. You can always
There's
leave.
always a mission failed option. That's something I'll do with mine. I was about to when I gave the mission for you, Hutch and Charles to go and steal that GTR. I was already heading up north through the hills after joining in with a Racer Grand Prix 3.0 because I didn't think you guys were going to turn up, and then you passed me, right? But I was going to call it quits there and find another crew if you guys didn't run into me before the sun came up. So there's always going to be options. If you, there's pretty much you're always going to have the chance to fail a mission, and as the people taking part in that, you have that option to kind of back out if shit's getting too crazy.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Real quick, Mickey, that was that you in that bench trial when I basically cleared you of all the charges? What actually happened?
Oh, yeah. I didn't actually lie to you that much. Like, if people thought
not that lucky, huh? That lucky.
That much, man.
Okay, so
well, you're fucked.
All right.
No, the whole case of that trial, which is why it was weird, is that like, okay, yes, I was given a gun by the boys, and there was literally an invading army that did attack us.
Drink now,
like they invaded from another country. Like that had happened. I did fight them. I actually never shot at the police. Because I got killed by Kay.
I'm ready to start fucking playing.
Who shot me. And yeah, that's actually what happened. But Wrangler like saw me there, caught me with X and or like what was it, or Oxy, meth, and the gun on me. But the whole story that I told was I was just defending myself. Like the only thing I lied to you about was me grabbing the gun off the guy. Everything else is true.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I actually mostly told you the truth.
So I can kind of have some input on the whole event thing. Just moving forward, those kind of events are going to be a lot more clear to everybody moving forward. If they're going to be happening, the correct people are going to be notified. So
yeah, we'll have like
I think that was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's hard for you guys. There's 160 of us in a goddamn server, and then there's so many people. Yeah, and then there's so many fucking people involved. To think that if something does go down, that you're not only trying to get structured of 8 people getting involved with 8 of people that you have to get.
The server is getting a restart in 34 minutes.
Of course, you have to get the cops, which is 14 of them involved, and then it's like, who knows if they're going to show up, and if they're not going to show up, someone is going to always get the fucking shaft. Like it's always going to happen. Someone's going to roll up, get fucking deuced early as shit, and it's just going to happen. It's just a matter of fucking taking it on the chin and going to the next one, although it fucking sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
it's impossible to make everyone happy too at the end of the day.
100%.
If the cops don't show up and they only send one and send the other to raid Summit, I'm gonna shoot him.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
bro,
I got
dude,
so
when that
much
shit
fucking
happened,
heat
man.
for that.
Oh my god! I literally said to Bayo as we're driving away, I'm like, this guy's gonna die. Like he's literally dead.
Yep.
I got a 500 comment hate thread for that. I felt like it was the right move, honestly.
Dude, it was the right move. It was awesome that they shot him. Let me just say that. I thought that was
I mean, every cop that was on that raid were like, okay, Mantis is dead. He's gonna get shot any second because nobody's there with him.
Literally. So I've got a question for you guys. So there's sort of a lot of sort of crims setting up ambushes, and that obviously has to do with a lot of people who are currently here, right?
Yeah.
Which means that typically the sort of cop response is going to be heightened, if you will, whether that be responding to bank robberies with just ARs over pistols, or whatever the situation is. I feel like this sort of goes back to Moon, for example, the jewelry store robbery, where you guys had class 2s during 2.0, gunned down officers, and then moving forward, it was like every situation you ran into, cops were prepared for the absolute worst, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying to run this through my mind over the past week of trying to find an in-character sort of reset to it, because I don't see crims backing down, nor do I see the police department backing down. And the only way I could see sort of an in-character resolution to it is approaching someone like Ron, who's with Weasel News, speaking to the chief of police, letting criminals know that we don't want officers to be ambushed. We don't want a lot of these things happening, but if it continues to happen, the police presence is going to be heightened. The response is going to be heightened every time. But I don't know where it goes from there. Like if the crims say, well, if that's the case, too bad. And then every person who's committing crime gets an increased response as a result. Like what's the sort of fairest way of it, I guess is how I should word it, to resolve that issue and get everything back to like a baseline sort of average, we don't expect to get ambushed every time.
Whatever the solution is, I hope it's in character, because I think that's more interesting.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Actually, the reason we shot Mantis when he was the only one left is because they weren't treating us seriously. like us as the Angels, the gang, we felt like we were being disrespected, and we want to be to that point where we want cops going hard as fuck on us because they're scared of us. So,
But that wasn't the
honestly,
case,
like,
though.
don't back down.
I mean, that wasn't the case though. Whenever you see you guys like a non-threat, right? It's just we're low on manpower. Simple as that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's obviously the reason. But
No, I see you
in
guys as a non-threat.
character- I know. In character, our characters didn't know that. Our characters saw this huge force come by and then just dip out. Like, oh, fuck those
Yes,
guys.
the perception, right?
So it
I
was
just
just like,
Just for me, I think you earn respect. You don't demand it, right? So
yeah,
that's just
yeah,
how I
no
feel.
doubt, no doubt.
So even though your intent was a little different, it plays into the much bigger image of the crims versus cops, because in character we don't know who you guys were, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, the only thing we
Although I
have
did
is
use a personal gun to try and leave some casings.
so the only thing we really have from the cop POV is an officer that got gunned down, right? We have other situations where during convenience store robberies, officers are being ambushed, led into alleyways and gunned down, right? And these all sort of contribute to the overall or average police response, is how I would describe it. Because if the average situation is resulting in cops being ambushed and gunned down, then the average response to any situation is going to be able to attempt to counter that or match it.
Yeah, and that's what I want is like next time we do a bank, I want the cops to be like, oh shit, we got to be more serious. I know it's probably going to make them be serious on other people too, obviously.
I wouldn't be
like,
surprised if you
more
guys
strict and tougher.
I wouldn't be surprised if you accomplish what you set out to. They're gonna be like, ain't those the guys that shot Toretti in his fucking face?
Fuck yeah,
And
bring
the
it.
That's the
hostage?
thing, though. We don't know who they. So every
Oh.
time we get these revenge killings or
Shit.
these lesson killings, they either
Lesson
face.
killings.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's their
How many
lesson
times do I have
killings.
to teach you this lesson?
I mean,
Old
Dan
man.
and Ripley were kidnapped and tortured, but nobody said anything to us that why is this happening to us? Nobody said anything. There was no reason behind it. So we after everything's done, we go back and we're like, okay, why did this happen? It's supposed to be a lesson, but there was nothing said to us that should be a lesson.
But because of leaving Toretti behind and him dying, will you guys do that again? Will you be a bit more careful about that in the future?
Like, all I'm saying is it's not a matter of you guys, it's a matter of one guy. And one guy made that call, so.
That was you?
True.
That was
No.
you?
Hell no, it wasn't me.
No.
That was
It,
solid.
it was me. It was
Sob,
me.
yeah.
I made the call.
Look, you make mistakes, and yeah, hell yeah, we're probably never gonna do that. shit
I
again.
just didn't think that criminals were gonna get mad for having a free Felica, right? That we're gonna get a free robbery. They get to walk out. Hey, listen,
The thing is, it was our first Fleeka so far.
yeah, but
in
I don't know that,
3.0.
though, right? I
Yeah,
don't know
no,
that.
you don't know, and we don't know why you're leaving us with just one guy and all this, that, and another. All just acting on what your character sees and this, that, and another.
I just think there's so much assuming.
Watching from Moon's perspective was fucking hilarious.
Dude,
He's like, we should not have left that guy alone.
Bro, I literally, like, I was seconds from just ditching the raid and running down there. Like, I was so fucking close, dude. I was like, I'm gonna get fired if I do this.
Yeah,
Man,
but,
would have
but
been
the reason why we had a lot of cops because it was Charles Johnson. It wasn't just some random Joe Schmo off the streets, right? I was expecting.
Man, fuck that guy. Honestly,
you think we're gonna protect that loser? Fuck that
Bro,
guy.
I was expecting CG
What
to
the
have,
fuck?
fucking, I don't know, class 2s across by the construction site, mag dumping all of us.
Nah, we don't care about him anymore. He's not cool in the gang.
How would you guys
Yeah, why is
feel?
bro? Why is Mickey trying to take my place in the game right now, bro?
Well, actually, it's because I'm a pretty good driver. Have you seen me on my my
He's
control?
lying.
I don't know why the cops are worried about criminals getting upset. Because quite frankly, you should be more worried. Because if cops keep hot dropping helicopters on my hunters, I'm calling the boys from the mountain. We're gonna have problems.
the hot.
No,
you have Lead Park Ranger
gang.
here.
I'm down to dump Class 2s into Ziggy's helicopter as soon as he fucking
Next time,
starts
dude, I'm
having
hitting
that
them out
shit.
of the sky. I thought it was a bird. My bad.
I've literally never seen a helicopter
on board.
hot drop during NA times, by the way. It's always like fucking EU times or like
Bro,
fucking AU
I
times.
swear we had in 2.0 hot dropping was like this. It was every fucking fleet
Everything you did.
bank truck.
Okay, to
And
be fair,
no, listen to me.
we
listen
had
to
to.
me.
Y'all chose castles.
Okay, this is
Yeah,
true,
you guys
but
passed on
I
fucking
learned
camping.
I learned my lesson. I learned
with an
my
overlook.
lesson when Iceman somehow used a helicopter as a weapon and knocked my ass out with it. And then I realized that wasn't the plan anymore. But like hot drops, I mean, the only problem I have, and this is coming from again a criminal side, and I understand that there's escalations and stuff, but Kevin made a good point earlier where when it's ARs and Fleeka Banks, and the response is the way that it is for a Fleeka Bank, what is going to be the difference for the Volt? I feel like hitting a Polito
rocket launchers.
I feel like hitting a Polito Bank and hitting a regular Fleeka Bank is a pretty similar response with everything that happens. Does that mean that the Volt's going to be the same thing?
Y'all thought you were leaving the Vault?
Well, exactly.
Yeah, like you guys don't know yet. But
Exactly.
also,
True.
like
That's
I
true.
get it. I get it from 2.0 to 3.0. It's definitely jarring because I know that in 2.0 the response for a long time was pistols and shit.
Yep.
But like our SOPs literally say we have to
We
respond.
have to
with
respond with ARs. Like people shouldn't be with pistols on the Fleekas. Like
Yeah,
I don't know why that is.
I don't even carry an AR personally.
So
I just
for
I
someone
hate it.
who doesn't know
Yeah,
what the,
don't care
what
one
the
either,
fuck
actually.
is the Vault gonna be? What
It's
is
gonna
that?
be fucking intense.
That's
Yeah,
the
it'll
so
be
the
intense.
Volt. The Volt is the big ass bank at the top, and it's always like a huge ordeal. Like it took people. How long did it take you guys?
Can I
to
ask
get
a
that
question?
thing?
Can they make the Vault like 6-man or 8-man just to get some variety?
That would be
sick.
That's a good idea. That's
Just
not a bad
because
idea.
I would love it if, yeah, some of the big crimes could have more than
Yeah,
four.
dude, that's one thing is like, I'm gonna be honest. I love RP, and I love RP because like I come from an improv background. I work at Groundlings in LA, and like that's my favorite thing is like getting to play characters with people. But as someone who is new to the game this patch, most of the time I have no fucking idea what's going on, and I don't want to be that guy to just watch other streams and steal shit. So like I go through most of my days lost and confused like a man with dementia, like through the game. And it's difficult also because of like kind of the 4-man meta where I feel like I kind of get hedged out of a lot of stuff.
That's why
I never want to be like Steven Glansberg where I'm like, hey, can you guys bring me along? And I'll like just kind of sit outside.
That's why that like that Dundee dynamic is so fucking beneficial when you've got someone who's new to the server and a veteran goes, yo, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Like that was Blue and Summit for so long. That energy is so fucking valuable. And I'm always surprised. I'll get like 10K Andes in my DMs. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm so fucking nervous. I'm like, how? You run this game. But it just goes to show that like,
I was shitting my
really
pants when I first started. I had no fucking clue.
That always blows my
There's
mind.
so many rules.
That always blows my mind when people who like run shit on Twitch are like, what do I do? What the fuck? What is this role? What do I do?
Because,
But yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're entering someone else's space, and there's so many people,
sure.
and there's so many rules. You don't want to like fuck it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause
You've done
I was
great
real
though,
lucky.
man.
I had tutorial Tony. You know,
Tutorial
right
Tony.
there.
I mean, Whippy's amazing at.
Yeah,
if
Whippy's
you're
the
new to the
king of
server,
that
man,
shit.
he will take you under his wing and show you what you need to do.
Yeah, Whippy's
but not in
king
the
of that
aspect
shit.
of throwing you into the fire. He'll like slowly, gradually bring you into things.
Yeah.
He'll do it loudly though. Don't worry.
Oh
yeah, he'll scream.
Will, I think a huge
We're
part of
chilling,
it is,
dude.
and this has been a consistent problem
not
in
too much
GTA
longer.
for years, being a civ is so fucking hard. Being a civ
Counterpoint,
is
counterpoint.
As James Marco,
Where's Ashlyn? Is she still in
I
there?
wanted to be a lawyer, and like one of the most disheartening moments of like GTA for me is I finally found like a lawyer, and I was like, "What is the process to become a lawyer?" And he's like, "Well, you need to shadow me for the next 2 months." And, then and I was like, "Oh God,
Bro,
damn it!"
That's literally what I had to do to become a cop, and I fucking love it. So
Well,
consider
yeah,
doing
but-
it regardless.
Well,
If
no,
you're
I
I
do
do
a
consider,
cop, dude.
Well, I mean, I would do anything. I literally don't even know how to start the process of asking. I was like, how do I
He
start the
glanced over
process
at those
of shadowing?
cookies. Now I'm looking for water. Like it's magically gonna appear
No,
there.
just do it through the in-game process. Like you'll find out in character, like when recruitment's happening, and just it'll be announced. You'll figure it out in game.
And
So
for
where
what
are
it's
those
worth-
things announced? By the way,
Discord.
There's a Discord, right? I don't know. I
Yeah,
think there's a Discord for the server, but I don't know where it is.
Also, I know some people.
You gotta
will
join
say-
from the NoPixel.net
Tsunami 20,
website.
yeah.
Sorry for cutting off.
I was gonna say
It's right next to the connect button.
I don't know who's experienced it. I did my first court case. That shit's the best content on the
It's
server.
amazing.
I don't
Listen,
the court
know
is the
that
best content.
Bro, in 2.0, it was avoid court at any fucking cost. Like that was the meta. Like if it was, hey, you're gonna get 77 charges, fucking send me in. I get a slushy ass lockpick and I'm out that motherfucker. Like let's get this shit over.
Yeah,
Court is
only
amazing.
good. Court's only good when something actually matters, when a charge matters, like money
Something on the line.
matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's
So
on right
as someone who played an attorney pretty heavily during 2.0 before sort of I would consider like the DOJ aspect of things died off because it was much more action packed. Right now, or not even right now, but the way lawyers typically work is things are good for a while, but as the penal code adjusts and things become more lenient, people are far less willing to contact attorneys. And not only that, they will then only contact attorneys for big situations and only contact attorneys that have a proven record. And if you don't have that, you're going to get very little RP out of it.
There haven't been many
it's why
attorneys on recently.
during
That's not
EU,
true.
there's been attorneys
No,
every single day. Every single day.
EU time, I've
Dang.
seen
I would
before.
say usually when I'm around, they're there by the bundle.
Is it
Yeah,
frowned
late-
upon if I have like a second character that's a lawyer who
No,
only
no.
wakes up if like
Yes.
someone needs a lawyer? Is that frowned upon?
I mean, if it's your friends, yeah, that'd be a
Yeah,
problem.
but it's your friends. Like it has to be like no conflict, I guess. with the
Starting
Yeah.
starting a
Okay,
lawyer
I'll be the
is
clean.
hard.
I'll be the clean boy lawyers. I got you, Hassan. I got you.
Starting a lawyer
Oh,
is
we have
definitely
Splainer,
very
bro.
hard.
We have some fucking solid lawyers.
Oh, yeah,
Splainer's
absolutely,
nuts, man.
But Splainer,
Splainer's
again,
insane.
Splainer is one of those attorneys that is up there with. I haven't seen Murphy playing, but Murphy Braun. Lawyers
Oh, I
like
met
that.
him too. He's great.
Yeah, exactly. Lawyers like that who have a proven track record will get the RP. But if you're not one of those lawyers, no one's going to reach out to you. However,
I
that
love
may
Splainer.
change. That may change depending on whether or not. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of times people gravitate towards bigger streamers, and if you are a bigger streamer, even if you don't have a proven track record, people may still contact you.
True.
But if you don't stream, if you don't have that proven record, I can guarantee you will get very little court RP, which is unfortunate because there are some damn good lawyers that just haven't had the opportunity to